Okay, all right, very good, thank you. Counsel's office is requesting an emergency summary order of suspension for the license issued to Pelicano Enterprises, Inc., doing business as River Street Pub in Troy. The request stems from a shooting incident that occurred around 1:09 a.m. on January 22nd, where a victim sustained gunshot wounds to the stomach and the leg. The Troy Police Department sent us a referral that's in the record before you, which describes that the licensee essentially tried to cover up the shooting incident. When the officers first responded to the establishment, they were met with resistance. They couldn't make entry through the front door because it was locked. And when they went to the back door, a male who was identified as an employee came out of this door. He didn't comply with police commands to stop and not go back inside. Instead, the employee ran back into the establishment and shut the door. At this point, officers have their weapons drawn toward the door. They're in fear of an active shooter situation. The licensee, Mr. Pelicano, he ultimately opens the door and he complies with the police order to not go back inside. Once inside, officers find an area near the pool table that was freshly mopped with some sort of a cleaning agent like bleach, and they also find a shell casing. The licensee claims to the officers that there was no disturbance whatsoever, inside or outside, but the police investigation proved otherwise. The Troy Police Department determined that the shooting did in fact occur inside and that Mr. Pelicano tried to cover it up. I have a little bit more detail than what's contained in the record before you. Yesterday and this morning, I spoke with Captain Santani of the Troy Police Department, who has intimate knowledge of the details of the incident. He's not at liberty to give me too many specifics at this time. He doesn't want to compromise the integrity of their investigation, but he was able to share some pertinent information. He said that there was some sort of a party or event happening at the establishment on that night. He said multiple witnesses confirmed the shooting did in fact occur inside the premises, and that Mr. Pelicano was present for it. The investigation revealed that there were at least 4 rounds of gunfire. They did confirm the cleanup area by the pool table is the same location where the victim laid and after he was shot and bled. Captain Santani does confirm that the licensee did attempt to cover this up. So here we have a licensee who not only fails to report a very serious incident to the police, but also denies that it occurred and willfully attempts to destroy the evidence. He has no regard for the law, and this kind of behavior on the part of a licensee cannot be tolerated. These incidents adversely affect the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the area of the licensed premises, and in consideration of them, immediate action in the form of emergency order of summary suspension is required. Thank you.
Do we know, did the victim survive as far as we know at this point?
As far as we know, he survived his injuries.
And what's the normal closing time for this bar? 4, probably?
The method of operation says 4. I don't know what they've been doing as of late.
All right. So in other words, why I'm asking is because when the police arrived at 1:09, it was obviously still open, even though they had the door shut.
That's correct. The reports indicate there were patrons inside the establishment at that time.
No call to 911. How did the police find out about the shooting?
There were callers, witnesses did contact the police department.
Oh, so the owner didn't call 911, but we do have other 911.
That is correct. The owner did not.
And he denied that he cleaned up the...
He denied that anything whatsoever occurred there. He denied the fact that he cleaned up, obviously, to cover up an incident.
Do we have any idea what the incident was about? Was it gang related or?
We do not know at this time.
And the police confirmed that the first employee that they saw exiting the bar and then going back in and locking the door was actually an employee?
They confirmed that, yes.
And then the owner came out shortly thereafter?
That's right.
All right.
You ready to vote?
Well, one other thing, history. This place has been open since 2009. Do they have any history similar to this or no?
Well, they have some disorderly conduct history. In 2014, the member sustained a $2,000 penalty for an assault. A patron was slashed by a broken bottle at that time. And then there was a letter of warning issued in 2016 for disorderly conduct again, as well as sale to intoxicated patrons.
And we have no idea, because it's or do you have an idea what the security situation is there, or if there is any?
So they are approved to have security. Whether or not they're using security is unknown.
And video, do we know if they have it?
It's unknown at this time.
Okay. I have nothing else.
Ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Ford?
In light of the fact that there was the police, that there was a shooting inside this establishment, and even more so as far as what I'm concerned about is the fact that their behavior when the police arrived put law enforcement, I think, at risk. Actually, they had to draw their weapons. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, they felt possibly being threatened and had to draw weapons. So no licensee should conduct themselves in such a way. So I vote to summarily suspend.
I vote to summarily suspend as well. It's clear that this licensee does not consider the health and safety and welfare of the public first, which I think is their main obligation, and that's evidenced by the fact that he tried to cover up a shooting and then was not cooperative with the police department, so I'm going to vote to summarily suspend.
I have nothing else. Anything else, Chairman?
Nope.
I think we're adjourned.